I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas with tons of food, presents, and catch-ups with the family. Now, in this video, I'll be talking about a lighter subject on 5 of my favorite books that helped me start it off on my investment journey. I'll be talking about some of the main lessons that I learned from these books, and it may change your mind and the way that you view money and investing. The number 5 book on this list is The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley and William Danko. Now, picture in your mind what a millionaire might look like. Maybe it's a CEO of some big company, or someone in an expensive suit, or someone with a big mansion, fancy cars, or someone that has really wealthy parents and inherited lots of money. It may or may not surprise you that many millionaires live a fairly basic lifestyle in a fairly standard, non-extravagant house. And there are people that just live below their means, usually fairly well educated, and invested a large portion of their earnings. But also, yes, most millionaires tend to be cheapskates and very frugal. The point of this is that you could easily be talking to someone that's a millionaire without even realizing that they are a millionaire. This book also taught me a real important lesson that real millionaires don't need to look like a millionaire. And what I mean by that is, when you are truly rich, you don't actually need to prove that to anyone anymore. It's like saying, if you are a lion, you don't need to go around and be like, hey, I'm a lion. You are who you are, and you don't really need to prove that to anyone. Number 4 book is The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clarkson. When I first picked up this book, I thought it was a fairy tale because all the stories in it are based in old times, like the times from the Arabian Nights. But once I actually started reading, you quickly realize that this is a finance book, and their lessons in it can be applied to current times as well. The most important lesson in the book is that whenever you receive an income or salary, always remember to pay yourself first. Now, you might be asking, what does that even mean? I get paid, of course I pay myself first. But are you actually paying yourself first? Everyone has to pay rent, bills, food, clothing, transport, etc. And the list goes on and on. And normally it is after that we take whatever is left for savings and investment. By paying yourself first, you put money away for savings and investment before paying everyone else. This may seem difficult or practically impossible if you're used to living paycheck to paycheck. But you can achieve this by gradually cutting back here and there until you are able to sustain your new low-cost lifestyle. Over an extended period of time, you'll be surprised at how much you could actually save up using this method. The 3rd book on this list is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Think and Grow Rich talks about the importance of thought and having a burning desire, and how powerful it can be when it is translated into concrete action. For example, if you never thought about becoming a really good basketball player, you never learned the rules of the game, you never learned the training that it requires, the equipment that you may need, the teams that you want to join, what are the chances of you actually becoming a really good player? Very unlikely, right? But if it's something that you think about all day and you actively go and practice all the time, the chances of you becoming a great player is significantly higher. The same thing applies with money, but it's not as simple as just thinking about money. You need to have a target in mind, along with what you are willing to give up to obtain it. It could be time, a service, or a product that you are selling. And the next thing is you want to set a specific date that you want to achieve that money target. After that, formulate a plan and take action today. And remember, most things in life are not free. So if you are looking to get money from others, you have to provide a significant amount of value to them. And never forget about the burning desire, because it is from this burning desire that helps you create the momentum to take the amount of action that you need to succeed. The number 2 book on the list, and the only New Zealand book here, is Rich Enough, written by New Zealand author Mary Holm. In Rich Enough, Mary provides a 7-step guide on how to invest and save up for retirement for everyday Kiwis. She goes over Kiwi savers, insurance, debt repayments, investing, properties, and many other financial topics. What's good about this book is that it is extremely local to New Zealand, and all the examples provided are related specifically to Kiwis. I have a video doing a review of this book, which I will provide a link to in the card and the description below. And for number 1 on the list, and the book which started it all for me personally, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So here's a quick story. In one of my old jobs, I was doing quality control for a product in a manufacturing company. And it was a long and repetitive process. So I was listening to audiobooks. And Rich Dad, Poor Dad was the very first audiobook related to finance that I have ever listened to. And it just completely blew my mind at the time. At the time, I knew nothing about finance, and I had no idea what investing is and why would you even want to invest. Now, if there was one thing to take away from the book, was the difference between assets and liabilities. Now, let me ask you this. Is your car an asset? And the answer is no. Is your computer an asset? And the answer is also no. Now, is your house an asset? That really depends, but the answer is also no for the majority of us. Using the most basic explanation, an asset is something that provides you with money, and a liability is something that takes money away from you. So if a house is producing rent that is greater than its expenses, then it is an asset. Otherwise, it's a liability. So what is the one thing that all rich people do? They buy assets. Assets such as stock, bonds, or rental properties. Whereas many other people spend all their paycheck on luxury items such as clothes, shoes, or cars, which are all considered as liabilities. Now, you might think that if I buy something with the intent of reselling to gain a profit, would that make this item an asset? And the answer is still no. This is the difference between investing for cash flow and capital gains, which I have outlined in another video. If nothing else, always remember this one line. Rich people buy assets, and poor people buy liabilities that they think are assets. If you have some time during the holiday season, be sure to pick up some of these books for some light reading. While it might not be as exciting as your thriller novels, these books can really help you get a better understanding about finances to prepare you for the future. And I really think that you want to constantly be learning new things to improve yourself. When I first started this channel, I was only trying to share some of the things that I have learned over the past to try help people out. I never really expected to be still making videos at this time. So thank you all so much for your support over the last few months, and I will still keep on making videos in the future. Have a happy new year everyone, because the recession is coming at some point.